You know the internet can be a very dangerous place, if you don't know what you're doing, that is.
Oh really? Have you been following the rules?
Apparently not.
But Mr. TD, I don't understand. I thought there were no rules when using the internet.
You see, my robot associate, the internet dubbed its own rules when it was first created. Why don't you try downloading that part of the internet and I'll explain them for you.
Okay, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. I have finished downloading over 99% of the internet. Here is what I found. Rules of the Internet is a loose collection of rules and aphorisms spawned by 4chan. Depending on whom you ask, they are either not meant to be taken seriously or are very serious business. Most of them don't apply except for within the community they originated from, and the list is continuously changing, but through memetic mutation, a handful have become well known. Also, almost none of the numbers are standardized, so it's not uncommon to find many rules reordered or simply replaced altogether. The only numbers that are standardized are Rule 34, Rule 50, and Rule 63, as well as possibly Rules 1 and 2, and that's probably only because of Fight Club.
Well, go ahead, let's not keep the audience waiting.
Rule 0, don't fuck with cats.
Cats are very mean and can hurt you in more ways than one.
Rule 1, you don't talk about /b/.
Exactly.
Rule 2, you don't talk about /b/.
Exactly.
Rule 3, we are anonymous.
Anonymous is all of us and none of us. Anonymous makes changes that don't require credit. Anonymous is always from somewhere else. Or nowhere. Anonymous is Legion. We do not forgive, but often forget. Anonymous is the horrible, senseless, uncaring monster that you only wish you could be. We are united as one. Divided by zero. Expect us. We own all of the internet.
Rule 4, we are Legion.
I am Legion is a trope where some group or individual is made more sinister or strange by having them avoid referring to themselves in the singular. Through their speech and mannerisms they will make the viewer question the nature of the character. A lone character speaking as though they were chanting along as part of a chorus, or an assembly speaking in perfect unison, regardless of the situation.
Rule 5, we do not forgive, we do not forget.
To decide to continue being angry about something that someone has done, and to allow your memory of it to influence your future relationship.
Rule 6, /b/ is not your personal army.
Look to Rules 1 and 2.
Rule 7, no matter how much you love debating, keep in mind that no one on the internet debates. Instead they mock your intelligence as well as your parents.
Don't take the internet or anyone on it as serious as a real conversation.
Rule 8, anonymous can be a horrible, senseless, uncaring monster.
Someone, under the cover of anonymity, acts like a jerk on the internet. Common techniques are derogatory videos, insults and personal attack, catfishing, doxing, sexual or other harassment, and in the most extreme cases death threats or plotting terrorist attacks.
Rule 9, anonymous is still able to deliver.
If they can afford a $1,000 suit they can afford a $10 pipe bomb.
Rule 10, there are no real rules about posting.
There are no real rules.
Rule 11, there are no real rules about moderation either. Enjoy your ban.
The power belongs to the moderators.
Rule 12, anything you say can and will be used against you.
No comment.
Rule 13, anything you say can and will be turned into something else.
No comment.
Rule 14, do not argue with trolls, it means they win.
The people of the internet fight dirty.
Rule 15, the harder you try, the harder you will fail.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Rule 16, if you fail in epic proportions, it may just become a winning failure.
You fail so hard you actually win.
Rule 17, every win fails eventually.
Dim to loose.
Rule 18, everything that can be labeled can be hated.
People will hate because it's relatable.
Rule 19, the more you hate it, the stronger it gets.
I refer to my previous comment.
Rule 20, nothing is to be taken seriously.
The core idea of post law is that a parody of something extreme can be mistaken for the real thing, and if a real thing sounds extreme enough, it can be mistaken for a parody, or because parodies are intrinsically extreme, in case you haven't noticed it. This can also happen to someone whose picture of the opposing position is such a grotesque caricature that it renders them unable to tell parody from reality. Reality and parody are further blended by the fact that something that started as a parody might turn into a windmill political that some people take as gospel and go to a very serious, if not literal, war.
Rule 21, pictures or it didn't happen.
Proof is needed regardless of circumstance.
Rule 22, original content is original only for a few seconds before it's no longer original. Every post is always a repost of a repost.
The show button is used too much.
Rule 29, on the internet men are men, women are also men, and kids are undercover FBI agents.
Everyone is a man.
Rule 30, girls do not exist on the internet.
They just don't.
Rule 32, you must have pictures to prove your statements, anything can be explained with a picture.
Rule 21.
Rule 33, lurk more. It's never enough.
You must lurk more.
Rule 34, if it exists, there is porn of it. No exceptions.
Self-explanatory.
Rule 35, if there is no porn of it, porn will be made of it.
Self-explanatory.
Rule 36, no matter what it is somebody's fetish.
There is always something for someone.
Rule 37, no matter how fucked up it is, there is always worse than what you just saw.
You can always find worse.
Rule 38, no real limits of any kind apply here, not even the sky.
Be careful how far down the rabbit hole you go.
Rule 39, caps lock is cruise control for cool.
Self-immunity because caps lock.
Rule 40, even with cruise control you still have to steer.
Don't be retarded.
Rule 41, Desu isn't funny. Seriously guys. It's worse than Chuck Norris jokes.
It's time to stop. It's just not funny.
Rule 42, nothing is sacred.
Stock phrase when a character has heard of something that crosses a significant line of comfort for him. It may be something that he thought couldn't happen. Or something he thought no one would be despicable enough to do. In any case, if a character says this, he has been shocked out of his comfort zone. Of course, it's often used parodically, when the sacred thing is of relatively little consequence, and the new boss has cancelled casual Fridays. Is nothing sacred? It's also Rule 42 of the internet. That being, no. Nothing is. Compare there should be a law.
Rule 43, the more beautiful and pure a thing is, the more satisfying it is to corrupt it.
I refer to my previous comment.
Rule 44, if it exists, there is a version of it for your fandom. And it has a wiki and possibly a tabletop version with a theme song performed by a Vocaloid.
The fandom is real and it does exist.
Rule 45, if there is not, there will be.
Go back to Rule 44.
Rule 46, the internet is serious fucking business.
Don't mess with anyone on the internet unless you mean business.
Rule 47, the only good hentai is Yuri, that's how the internet works. Only exception may be vanilla.
In some Western countries, it is believed that, deep inside his heart, every straight man is turned on by two or more women interacting sexually, specifically, lesbians. The idea is that if a woman having sex is arousing, then two women having sex is twice as arousing. Plus, there ain't any male rivals in the way.
Rule 48, the pool is always closed.
The pool is closed because of AIDS.
Rule 49, you cannot divide by 0, just because the calculator says so.
The calculator says so.
Rule 50, a crossover, no matter how improbable, will eventually happen in fan art, fan fiction, or official release material, often through fan fiction of it.
The fandom is real, I told you already.
Rule 61, Chuck Norris is the exception, no exceptions.
He just is.
Rule 62, it has been cracked and pirated. You can find anything if you look long enough.
Rule 33.
Rule 63, for every given male character, there is a female version of that character, and vice versa. And there is always porn of that character.
Rules 33 to 38.
Rule 64, if it exists, there's an AU of it.
All fanfic is arguably an alternate continuity, since the audience can assume it intends to follow canon to a specific point, then branch off. Indeed, the only major fic types that don't branch off are post-series continuation fics and those written to fit neatly into canon, as they don't disrupt the continuity. Because of this, fanfic authors labeling something an AU fic has a different implication, wherein a fundamental aspect of the series is completely overhauled from its point of origin.
Rule 65, if there isn't, there will be.
Just wait and be patient.
Rule 66, everything is a fandom. Everything.
Like Rule 34, only less cringe and more wholesome.
Rule 67, 90% of fanfiction is the stuff of nightmares.
Truth.
Rule 72, if a song exists, there's a Megalovania version of it.
There is an Undertale parody of it.
Rule 77, the internet makes you stupid.
And that's basically Rules 0 to 77.
Well, that was a lot for me to take in, but I'm afraid that my systems will go into overload, so you have to end the video, Mr. TD.
Right, well, I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to check out our Facebook and BitChute pages, click like and subscribe, the bell for notifications, and share this with everyone you know. Take care, stay safe and God bless. We'll see you all in the next video.
Bye.